This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
We are TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio. When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die.
What is up, everyone? It's your main man, the Sorcerer Supreme, Frank Castle, right here each and every Saturday night on FearLess Truth Frequency Radio. I'm joined by my etheric translator, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
Very weird today, very weird tonight. Not bad, not like I was last time. Weird, awkward. Many changes are occurring. Excuse me, can't talk. Many changes are occurring right as we're speaking. Upgrades and removal of programs and purging. Before I continue, I'd like to thank Chris and Cherie Gio. Thank you so much for building the family tree and letting me hang like the great ape right off the top. Right? Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Joanna Morgan. Happy birthday shout out for your family. And thank you, Robert Hawley. Higher Frequency. Check it out on Instagram. Robert, I got to get all your info if you have website and all that. But Higher Frequency, thank you so much.
We love the stuff.
The stuff. I got I'm not sure what anything is except the copper, but they were
stones and
t-shirts were giving off so much energy before. Yep. I put one in each hand. I was going, but I don't know who's feeling it out there. Are you feeling it out there?
Oh, you know I am.
You should see her face right now. This is getting to the point where everything's changing. Your whole world is. Everything is down, but everything is up. Everything is fine. Everything is okay, but it sucks. I'll be outside of the house in 5 minutes, 20 minutes later, still fumbling through the front room. Stuff like that. Stuff like, no, I got this, but then at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you just got to collapse. What do you think that is?
I think it's a lot of change occurring at once. A lot of energy, waves of energy hitting everybody because everyone's going through it. A lot of people in the Fearless family, our families, everyone we talk to out there, in here, everyone's going through it.
Absolutely. Shout outs to everybody in the chat room. So I don't know where I should start or how I should start this, but all I know is I finally went back and drank ayahuasca. After that happened, I have a series of events that have made my life more intense than the actual ayahuasca, which was the most intense. What do you consider intense? Going under and removing things, seeing the other realms, blah, blah, blah. Or coming back and seeing it in your living room without having to be on anything. And then having to hold your head squeeze with both hands and wonder why you're pouring in tears, but yet you can see it just as clear as day, as if you took 2 or 3 giant hits of DMT and decided to just stand up and try to make it through your day. I wonder who's on that level and who's it affecting and how's it affecting.
Well, Ra in the chat room just said there's an magnetic surge that's happening, and that's what it feels like. It feels like the air is charged electrically.
Yes, except it doesn't have that metallic nastiness.
No, it's almost like after a storm. Mm-hmm.
But then there's the other charge that's like positively charged. It kind of knocks everything on its ass, and it feels much better and clean. It's like a natural way of cleaning out everything. You get sick. You feel fine, then you're sick, and then you purge, and then you're up, and then you're fine. You think you're going to be down for a week because you got a sore throat, and then 10 minutes later, after you tell everybody, I'm done, I'm not going out, you can't see me, you're up and walking around like there's nothing going on. And then the headaches start, and then the dizziness starts, and you drink a ton of water, and then you're okay, and it flips again. Now it's something else. My ear hurts, my back hurts, my arms
That's
hurt.
what's been happening to me. I'm feeling very lightheaded and dizzy, and I have been drinking a lot of water. I feel like I can't get enough water in me, and to flush that feeling away.
Right.
And that feeling I don't like because I don't feel steady.
Right.
But I'm pushing through it.
Actually, Paula walked out of the bedroom before, and she finally did what I do. She almost fell into my arms.
Yeah.
She almost fell over just turning into the kitchen. I do that every day. As I come out, I can't figure out what the hell's wrong and why.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden wobbly, and then tripping all over yourself. You're going to have flare-ups. You're going to have flare-ups of things you haven't had since you're 5. Your body's completely going to purge everything, but on every layer, every level. So what comes through is arthritic knee pain or something. On the other side, trust you're pushing out programming, because fear and pain is programming.
Oh, without question. Without question. It's just very unstable. And I'm good. I can usually get up and hit the ground running. Today, there was no way that was happening. It was like I needed assistance to do everything. Everything took twice as long. My normal routine in the morning took twice as long today. And then I had to sit and breathe in between everything. And the amount of water that I'm drinking, I shouldn't feel the way I feel. But, what are we going to do? We just have to push through it. And, I have to stay hopeful because this is not normal.
Staying hopeful in the midst of the shit. Right?
But you have to.
Isn't that what this is all about?
Yeah. Or you go under the cover. You go back in bed and go under the covers.
Yes. See, I don't. I know we all have responsibilities and all things going on, but I don't trust myself driving sometimes at all. And I'm a really good driver. Mm-hmm. But when I'm wobbly and weird, I don't get into the car, because if it's a long drive, you wind up going off into meditation. So it makes it 1,000 times more intense. And a short ride, you're not even paying attention most of the time.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it's like the other guy's kind of driving. But when you're snapping in and out, it's not quite as magical as what that girl's making it out to be in the chat room. But, all right, so all I can say is observe yourself, be aware of what you're capable of and what you're not capable of, and try not to overexert or push. Also, I would suggest practicing whatever it is, your ability you feel you have or think you have, or be it whatever. Those are also good times to test the waters, because you're just sitting around. Take the deep breaths, close your eyes and look. Don't go into a panic. You know what this is. And if you don't, let me tell you, it's funny. We do this. We do the meditations. We do whatever it is we need to do. And it's like, as soon as you're sitting there and something comes along and smacks you in the face, it's like you forgot everything that you just learned. Right? The whole world, no, Frank, you don't understand. Paula, you listen. All that stuff that you teach and talk about, that's great. But when you're sitting in it, and then the kids are, and then this happens, and then I can't, I don't have time for that stuff. And then it's like, well, that's why you fail. That's why you fail, because everything you learned, as soon as you get punched in the mouth, like Tyson says, your whole plan has to change.
I don't think it's failing, though. I think it's the universe telling you this is going to happen and there's nothing you can do about it. So you can either get through it or you can stop everything and go hide from the world. And,
well, you can hide from the world.
And we
still
can't
going
do
to
that.
occur.
Most of us can't do that. We have other responsibilities going on. So you just...
I mean,
just
failing and
push
putting
through.
into play.
Everything that you've learned.
Not
Oh,
that
yeah,
you're a
yeah,
failure.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not a
everything
dick.
you've
I don't
learned.
come out here and just yell at people. Geez, 140 something episodes, and I would never come out blazing like that. But it's unfortunate. You learn all these things, right? Mike Tyson comes into the ring with you. You've been boxing. We learned how to box. I taught you how to box. You know how to dodge and weave and move to the side. You know that you're fighting Mike Tyson. He punches you in the head. Now, what do? Because this hurts just as much.
Right.
For sure. Not that I know what Tyson punched like, but I've been punched by 8 or 9 people all at once. If you took all those together and made one punch, that's probably him. And I took all those punches. Naturally, they carted me off and wheeled me away. But I understood that I was in a fight. And I started dodging and weaving and ducking and diving, and they took 8. Right? So understand what you're in, what you're involved with, and then put into practice and play those things that you've learned up to that point in the heat of the moment, because that will change it.
Yes, it will.
Right?
Yeah.
If you don't know how to play baseball and you're standing in the field and you get hit in the head with the ball, isn't it smart to start learning, especially if you're going to be standing on the field and you have no choice but to stand on the field? If you stand there ignorant of it, just get hit in the head with the ball, we're just going to cart you off. We're going to put you in the back. We'll be out next week and see if it happens again. Right? And if it just keeps happening again, what are you doing? You're slamming your head into a ball over and over again, not realizing that someone's hitting that to you, and you should just catch it and you'll be fine. Or just look up, perhaps. Or perhaps don't stand in the same spot. There's a million ways we can go about this.
Oh, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. A million ways to get the same message over and over and over again. And until you receive that message and you process that message, you're going to keep getting hit in the head with it.
Thank you. Etherical translation at its finest.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I find that even myself, I slip in those moments and, whoa, what's happening to my world? Nobody understands. And then it's like, well, what put you there? Well, it's an emotional imbalance that set forth a bunch of chemical reactions inside your body, and it's pushing out of you. So you do have a choice. You can react. You could not react. You could hold it in. You could get so tight you shit your pants. You could throw up on yourself. There's a million different things that you can do with this stuff. Or you could choose to start doing what you grounding into earth, going for a walk without your shoes on in the grass.
Oh, yeah, that's what we've been doing.
Getting out in the sun, no sunglasses, no hat for just 5-10 minutes, kind of closing your eyes and letting the sun perch down on you. Meditation itself.
The chat room folks are funny.
So it's on you how you decide to do this, but know that if it's hurting and it doesn't feel helpful, maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe you're doing the same thing over and over, which doesn't appear to be wrong, right? But you're always in that pain when you go through those motions. And it's like, well, what motions are you going through that is always causing these pains?
The same one from last time. Well, it didn't work. If it didn't work last time, it's not going to work this time.
Yeah, square
Try
peg,
something different.
Round hole. We go back to I'm not going to say Tony Robbins anymore. It goes back to being Tony Robbins all the way to DMT World and all that other stuff and everything in between, because there's a sexual thing against him and he was yelling at people.
Oh,
so
really?
I don't like to reference. I'll have to find another guy I could reference on that level. Maybe Richard Simmons. I don't know. Because he's just as happy. He makes people feel just as good. He gets people going. He gets people losing weight and sweating and thinking, you know what? This isn't that bad at all. And you know what? It's not. Plain and simple. And that's where we go down to the self-help. You're going to do a jumping jack or you're going to just stay heavy. But I can't do a jumping jack. We'll go for a walk.
But that's
it. Relax.
But that's it. This is life. Every day we're pounded with things. Every day. It's 1,000 decisions to make.
Yes. Mike Tyson is throwing punches at you.
It's trying to fit, 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound bag. And you know what?
She said
sometimes
so
it doesn't work. So You got to do something different, just a little different than you did the last time. You know, the chat room folks are talking about alkaline water. And just drinking alkaline water makes a difference because it neutralizes your body. And, you know, we were talking about it before, and like silly little things like that you think are no big deal are a great deal, a great help to your body, to your mind, how you feel, you know, and you have to do things that make you feel better. You know, there's a lot in this world we have no control over. We can't change our paycheck, and we can't change the people that we work with, and we can't change our situations that we're in, but we can be a little more hopeful on how we look at them.
Right. And then once again, small implementations at 10% at a time.
Absolutely.
Wiggle you out into different directions.
Our fearless family member, Brian Gasca, didn't drink anything, didn't have an experience, but he decided to let something go. He's been purging ever since. Good. You know, he and I had a talk a couple of months ago, and I helped him purge something through. And then now he's been doing it on his own with nothing. This is just life.
If you tell someone, hey, do you realize you're pushing a boulder uphill? And it's like you get up alongside him and you're like, hey, listen, do you just see that, right?
Just move out of the way.
Sometimes just that, and whatever that means to anyone that you're speaking to, just that little bit of gnosis. Hey, you know, maybe like this, or did you notice this? And they notice it.
But everyone is going through it. That's the point. Everyone is going through it.
Once you see it, you can now
you can identify it. You know, identify it. Look, this may be, you know, this might not be a big thing in your world, or it may be your entire world. But if you just change this one component of the way that you do things on a daily basis, the outcome will forever be different. And that's exactly what he's going through, and that's on nothing. Okay, that's just his mind.
Yes.
You know, and then we've had friends here as well. And, you know, just changing the way you look at a certain situation can change the outcome forever. But you have to allow yourself the opportunity to do that. You have to give yourself the chance to do that.
You have to give yourself a chance to become aware of yourself. This is all about self. It's not about – the show is great, and the journeys that you're going to hear about tonight are crazy and awesome. Everyone goes through it 100% different, and whatever that different is, go do it. It's not. There's no wrong way. You don't need ayahuasca to do this. Ayahuasca is a tool to help you strip it out a little bit quicker. You know, a bunch of us have not. Well,
it gets to the root of the problem really quickly. I mean, you know,
real quick.
When you went under, we had fearless family and friends that went under as well.
There was a couple of us under, yeah.
Yeah, and they had their experiences as well. Everyone is going through this, so don't be afraid, don't be worried. Everyone is feeling this. Everyone is going through it. It's almost like the new normal now until this phase is over. Yes. However long this phase is going to last, this is how it's going to be until it's over.
And it's up to you to choose how.
Yeah, recognizing
it and how deep you choose to get into the healing process. Because I'm going to tell you this, you're okay. When I drink Aya, something I'm learning is that I'm healing myself naturally. Aya. All right, so as a shaman, I hold space, right? I'm not healing you, right? I hold space so you can go under whatever Aya is going to do, the plants and everything. They're the ones that are going to teach you, and then you heal you. So she's not really like touching your head and your butt. No, it's okay, little baby. She does that while you heal. She doesn't go, let me fix that 1,000. Like, I believe this is yourself doing that on a monster degree. Naturally, you're wrapped in her embrace. You're wrapped in her energies. That's that loving feeling. All that great stuff is what allows you to heal.
Of course, you're under her protection, even though it feels like you're not, but you are. You're under her protection. From the moment you decide to drink, though, your life changes. And I think most of the people that have had the experience will agree with me. Once you decide in your head that you're going to do it, the universe will either line it up so that it's possible or
make it so difficult,
or put obstacles in the way so it can't happen. You'll notice immediately from the moment you decide to drink. that that's how it's going to be. And
Unless you hear the calling, and then all of a sudden other things start to happen.
Because when you were purging your stuff, I didn't drink. I was purging through stuff too. It's just the way it is.
Yes. One thing. All right. So guys and girls, when you choose to help someone, or if you're around them and you're going to transmute something, make sure you get rid of it. You don't hold it in and then like mentally go, I'm transmuting, because if there's any sludge in you left over, that builds to whatever the sludge decides to do, right? It could be cancer for some. It could be a headache for others. It could be an earache. My back hurts. You take on the pain of the other person or the issues and drama and problems while they walk away fresh, clean, and clear. That's a no-no. No. You have to respect yourself enough if you are going to help to understand that, and you're going to hold the space. You're going to ground yourself, and anything that does come off and out of that, I never take it into myself. I will never do that again. That's not how I roll. That's not how I heal. Like, I don't hug you into me and then transmute for you. I don't do that. I'll shoot you palms up with my hands before I ever take it onto me. Like, I'll stay away and I'll send you love. If I need to get something off you, I go for that thing. I go for the root base cause of it. I snap it, cut it, and naturally it jumps out, whatever that is sometimes. The energy
and it
jumps
tries to
on
attach,
you. Tries to attach, attack, disassociate. It tries to everything that you can. And you're to open up a portal to the Grand Central Sun, the Galactic Central Sun, and you send it through, and you like it's a vacuum cleaner, sucking it up and pulling it out of the place. That's how I do it personally. Maybe you've had success taking it onto yourself. I can tell you from experience and from the experience of others, you keep bringing it onto yourself, you're going to be last in this process.
That's
with
what
some
happened.
Kind of sick disease.
That's what happened to me in the beginning, years and years and years ago, when I tried to clear people. I took it all on. I was taking it in. I didn't know how to keep it from coming in. And then I was transmuting, and then I was getting very sick.
Yes.
It took a while for me to figure out how to protect myself. But once I did, that was it. Nothing can touch me now.
Paul is definitely.
But it took a long time.
The only way you're getting in with Paula is if she's really tired and not paying attention.
Oh, even then.
Or if she lets you, and even then, it's not probably going to get her. I've seen it affect her a few times. Out of the times I've known her, as the length of time I've known her, you could count on a few fingers how many times that's actually happened.
Yeah, but it took a lot of work.
Happening here, that's the statistics on Paula are fantastic. So if you were looking, you would have like the all-star card, like defensive, shaman, Paula. That would be it. Over mother. The protection is there, like Aya, but that's the sacred feminine rising. See, we're already built for this. We're already built in with the protections.
Oh yeah, this is all the programming. Yep. This is all the mind wiping.
Aya doesn't give you telepathy. Aya doesn't give you a new whatever. You develop your own because you already have it.
Yes, but we're programmed to forget.
Not only to forget, the distractions on top of that are to make you believe it's like external over there. Only guys that sit on the side of a mountain for 60 years and witness God in a 1 second in nature and then get the answer to life and can't remember it. And then they transmute to some rainbow golden thing. That's great. That's really good. That's really good, but not quite what the rest of the communities are working with. And it's kind of a load of shit too. Although it's happened, it's rare on that end. This is what we are. This is what we do. It's the Jesus character and the Buddha character and the this character and that character. You can do all of it. Everything. They all said it, right? I deal with Shiva. I deal with Ganesha all the time. I deal with Ra and Hanuman. These are all the characters I deal with. They're just, whether they're real or not, they're real for sure to me. It's really there presenting itself, but behind the great eye of the vision of the characters is this beautiful, bald-headed, white-robed, with a beautiful beard and an awesome smile, looking back at me, and I'm like, that's me.
That's you. Mm-hmm.
Over them, looking back.
Because it's not...
I'm from the highest of the highest.
Because it's not us here and that energy out there. It's not us here and your God out there. It's you're one. And that's
one.
What we've been programmed to think, that we're not one. You know, that it's not inside of you. It's out there, and it's not. You want to look in, you want to reach in for something. It's all right here. You just have to find it.
If you just like hugged yourself and kind of thought about it for a second, right? The teaching, I'm ready. Let it begin. Does it matter if it's the voice of your higher self? Does it matter if it's the voice of your Arcturian self or Syrian self or Lyrian self? It's still you.
It's still you.
And yes, you have done all those things.
Yep.
We've done this everywhere where we keep the knowledge, where we have no forget of the memory.
Oh, amnesia?
Amnesia. This is where we have the amnesia.
Human form.
We came into the human form, and the human form holds the DNA container.
Yes.
The container of the creator.
Yeah, it's all that junk DNA they talk about.
All that junk DNA is all what you need to hold
to activate
a creator being inside. Because for everything. I can't believe the half hour now.
I know, you lose it.
So much more to say. We'll be right back. This is Fearless.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No hate, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world.
Am I awake or is this a dream? Fantasia where I'd rather be. Thank you for taking this walk with me and having this talk with me, because it's a wake-up call from my reality. If you like the music you hear on the show, that's Frank Castle Come Alive. Check it out on YouTube and everywhere else. Take a listen. I think you'll enjoy it. Download it. Hook a brother up. Put it into your iTunes, or your Spotify, your Pandora, or your iHeart. Either way, it's okay. Thank you very much for your support. Check out IamWeAreFearless.com. IamWeAreFearless.com. IamWeAreFearless.com has art from a whole group of the Fearless family that have come together, put some great stuff, great designs together to help trigger and activate, to show what you love, who you love. Go there and check it out. God, I love those guys so much.
Yeah, and we want to thank Robert Hawley again for the beautiful gifts that you sent. Please send Frank your information so that he can mention your site on the show, because, I mean, the T-shirts and everything are beautiful. So we want to.
Robert Hawley once saved
we want to
me
be
with
able to.
light nunchucks made of literal light while I was being attacked in a meditation. And I remember being on one knee, and I was being like bludgeoned by characters, just beings that I thought were light beings. And they weren't. And I looked up, and I can see one of my gifts, like I said, I can see up and down. So I looked up in the next level, the next area, there's a light being just stepped to the ledge where we all bungee from. And I said it out loud during the meditation. I wasn't even looking at the room. I said, Robert, and then I said, think his name is Hawley, is in the room. And then mentally I said, hey, you want to help me? I'm getting my ass whipped. And he descended right on top of me and then just started whipping these things like nobody's business. And I'll never forget that. We do things for each other, and we don't get to see it all the time.
No.
We don't get to see the intensity behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's a pat on the back in the physical, and in the spiritual, the war, right? That goes on inside, whatever that is, whatever war is raging on inside of you. I suggest leaving the war behind and forgetting about the war of the gods and the war of people and the war of men and women, and lose the word war altogether. You know why we're so good at it is because we're creators. We're good at everything. It's just the direction we were shown. We're being dragged off into a direction that is not our own. Well, fortunately for everyone, we're dragging it back the other way, and we bring elephants. And we know how much everybody wanted the elephants. So we bring them.
Yeah.
We're not going to shortchange on the show. We're going to bring them. And we're going to drag it back the other way. And we're going to walk over any parasitic being, vampiric being, that would even dare threaten the existence of the creators and the love and the care that we're about to bring back to the planet. Okay. Leading up to this, I want to do this because we'll just
good.
babble.
Good.
But, okay, Paula understands more than anyone I've ever in my life what goes into the process of ayahuasca.
Yes, the preparing.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
Top to bottom, left to right, all around. It takes hours and hours. During those hours and hours, one of the things I've noticed in the preparation, because for me to do the reduction, it takes a few days because I'll put it on and then I'll shut it off. Put it on, shut it off, like 2 or 3 days. What do you like in those 2 or 3 days? I know what I'm like, right? Because we echo out into everything around us. So if we're drinking water and we put a little energize into the water, like a blessing, I don't like to call it a blessing, but you energize your water and then boom, you feel a little bit better. You energize your food, you remove your fear from it. You energize the ayahuasca, you let it know you're coming, everything's groovy. But we go into these things where some days are good, some days are bad.
Mm-hmm.
You try to dedicate yourself to keeping it rolling. And we had a roller coaster of a week.
The week the Aya
of.
was being prepared, yeah. Well, I think she was forcing a purge too, because
she knows. We talked about this yesterday.
It was very uncharacteristic for us to argue the way we did. And I know she was causing a purge because when Frank is brewing the Aya, the house fills up with the smell of Aya. You can smell it everywhere. You can smell it in the sheets. You can smell. Yeah, you can smell it in the house.
Aya,
you can smell it in the yard.
You might purge.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
It
happens to me all the time.
No. Well, as soon as you know what I stopped doing the roux on the side while the Aya was going.
Yeah, you do it separately now.
Because
it's too much. It's too intense.
We were purging.
I know.
In the beginning. I was like, what is wrong with me? I don't feel right. And then I felt great. And the whole front room smelled like Aya.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For days. And it's funny because if you're connected to someone else energetically, they'll feel it too.
For days.
And this is what I'm saying. You know, this is like, I didn't drink. I was just smelling it being brewed. And it was forcing a purge, but it was actually a good purge because it was just all that naggy stuff that needed to come out, all that naggy, backbitey,
I thought
earthly crap that needed to come out. Yeah.
3D.
Yeah. You know, we can't get away from it.
Shame, fears,
yeah,
distractions.
Yes. Selfishness.
Emotions.
Yeah. Just all of that earthly stuff that we try to stay away from. We try to separate ourselves from. It just comes out.
So leave it to Aya to know better at every time and every step of the way, working alongside my higher self. And I think I got it. Oops, I don't got it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's been a year for me. I had a friend over. Shout outs to my man Aaron. right? He came over to keep an eye on me. He watched my body with Paula.
Yep.
I'm trying to mentally kind of just go right to the good stuff, right? Because I know that's what everyone wants to hear. I drank the Rue, and then 25 minutes drank the Aya. I went online. Shout outs to Rihanna. Shout outs to Joshua. We all locked in at the exact same time. Woodland Wand Creations, by the way. Check out Rihanna's wands.
Yeah, that was a beautiful
Makes
thing,
magic.
though, that you were all connected.
We
like
timed
that.
it so we all go in at the same time. We were going to see if we could see each other, right, and meet up, which is totally viable. See, the problem with this is if you're not drinking Aya more, it was a year, so there's a year's worth of stuff
Build up
and stuff that needs to come out. I can't speak for the rest, but I can tell you that we synced it up. And at the 25 minutes, we all took pictures of ourselves drinking it. It went down. I laid down on the floor, and I immediately, within 10 minutes, was seeing colors. I remember laying there saying, what beautiful colors. It almost looked like I was traveling inside the colorful part of an eyeball, but it was like blues and grays, and it was really interesting stuff. I started to question myself, is the brew any good? Because it wasn't like getting stronger. It was just like a level where it hit, and it was like, I was like, oh, this is controllable. Controllable. That's one of the words.
Yeah, well, that's one of the words you got to remove. You got to remove from your vocabulary.
I have control of this, and I was passing through, and I felt I was being scanned, surveyed by these beings, and everyone was giving me the okay. And then it started happening. About a half hour passed, and I thought it was 10 minutes. I felt a weird jerking sensation in my chest and in my stomach, and I got up, and I guess the two of you were talking, and I started projectile vomiting in the bucket. My legs kicked out from behind me. It was so guttural. It was from like the lowest point in my body.
Yeah.
It was like if you heard it, you'd go, oh, that dude needs the hospital now.
I think it was a sacral chakra thing.
Me too.
That's what it felt like to me.
The night before we did this, I got to make this statement. We did contract revocations from the Andrew Bartis booklet, and we did the female. Let me see. We did revocation for the sacred feminine. So I read it out loud in the room, right? So
with intention.
I always do it with intention. Okay, so I was vomiting really it was bad. So as soon as it really kicked in and that bad one came out, I was acting like there's something attached to me. I knew. To me, I could see it. It was on my shoulder, my right shoulder, and my arm, which was, I've never had anything attached to my arm that I was aware of, but I've been getting those weird cramps, remember? Yeah. That's where I was getting the bad one. I know. In my back, I called Paula over. Well, she came over. Did you see this happening?
I did. I did see it.
Because I remember you talking me through it.
Yeah.
So, lady, a few words right now. She knew where it was. She can tell by running her hand over me where this thing was attached. And it felt like one of those, like something that fills up with like something that like attaches to you and then has a sac that maybe as it's drawing energy or blood or whatever it's eating off of you, it gets fatter, right? Like, so like the bump on you is like big. It felt like I had a Hunchback of Notre Dame thing going on. And I fought
Ethereal grandma.
I fought to get this thing off. Like you have no idea the amount of strain this put on my body.
Yeah.
I'm still sore. It's been days and days and days now. Okay, so Paula ran her hand around me right over the area, and we pushed and pushed, and I would inhale exhale, like I was screaming, I'm gonna get you, and rah, 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 you're not taking me, you're getting off of me, because Paula thinks when I don't say anything and I'm just grunting and groaning, I'm not fighting for my will inside my body. So I make it known now, like, oh, I'm fighting, you're gonna hear me, you're gonna effing get this. So Aaron was watching this and I'm thinking, I don't like when people see me like this, because holy shit.
Well, it's a very vulnerable thing. It's
to see the shaman going
the most
through that.
vulnerable state you could be in.
Yes. But there's something kind of cool about that, because honestly, it's not like that for everyone, but it is like that for a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Anyone who's like me, and there's a bunch of us, you're going to flop on the floor and you're going to be all, blah, 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 what's happening to me? Blah, I submit, I give in. Oh no, fight that thing, right? Like we go through these crazy things. So Aaron suggests towards the end of me getting, it was in my jaw at one point. Like I was keeping my mouth open and just throwing up and pushing and pushing and pushing. He suggested eating it like into my body, since it was already in my body.
Yes.
See, this wasn't me taking something externally and bringing it into my body. It's literally attached to my body on the inside. So as I was throwing up and it was in my throat, I started saying, oh, I'll swallow you. You could go down because you're coming right back up.
Right.
Because you won't be attached. And slowly it started to go down and come up in what I was spitting
purge,
up.
Yeah.
After the purge was over.
Yes, Aaron's saying honoring the fact that it's already there, because it is there. You can't do anything about it.
Yep. It's there. It's with you. I can't physically grab you and throw you the beating of your life, and that's not how you do this, right? Okay, so that's removed. Spit it up into the bucket. I then lay down, and things get really relaxing, and I'm like, I start to see, and I told Paula this, I think I'm in a coffin, because I died multiple times. I'm in a coffin, and then I hear someone say, you're not in a coffin, you're on a doctor's table.
Right.
Think of it like that. But it had like, as if I was sitting in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
So it had the sides that were up, so I had to sit in the box kind of. And when I heard the voice, I looked up and I could see 3 characters behind a curtain as if I was in the hospital. I believe one of those characters to be me. I don't know who the other ones are. They would not show themselves. They didn't want to be seen, but they also were like comforting me. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, it's okay. This is what's up. We're here. This is what's happening to you. And I said, what's happening to me? And they says, well, we're going to fix you. And it was my voice though. When he said, we're going to fix you, I said, you're me. You're me. And I always tell it has that good voice, right? I'm like, yeah, look who it is. And I said, well, what are you going to fix? And he said, everything. We're going to fix everything. You and I are going to do things that no one's quite ever done. And then everyone's going to, one at a time, start doing it. How does that sound? I said, that sounds great. Sounds really awesome. I'm glad we could be here through after this purge and everything. They're like, yeah, we got a little problem. Something we could take care of right now. Oh, shit. What? And that's when everything changed. Everything went dark. I'm going to have a hard time explaining this. Due to everything that's been happening in my life lately. I was laying on the floor, and then suddenly I was slightly on an angle as if I was sitting in like a dentist chair. Mm-hmm. And I was pinned down by my wrists and my feet, so I couldn't kick out. I couldn't do anything but turn my head side to side and arch my back. It was like I was crucified to the floor without any pain. It was like a restraining in the crucifixion pose. So I was arching and trying to move. I'm like, why can't I move? I don't know what's happening. And then I looked straight ahead and I heard them. And I'm like, what is that? What is going on? I seen a reptilian, a big one, the fucking, there I go, the nasty ones, had his back to me. That's what I was staring at. I heard gurgling. I heard noises you don't want to hear. It sounded like horror. Something out of a Hellraiser movie. I don't know. I didn't have any reference point but the squishing of organs from horror movies, that kind of stuff. He turns around, looks at me, goes, "Oh, good, you're awake." And I'm like, "What?" And I see my mother pinned on a table, and he was blocking her. They had her open from her neck to her privates. There was an insect being that I felt had nothing. Like when I was reading it, I'm like, this thing is alive for sure, and it's a real piece of shit. Like you could just tell, and they just were like, "Don't worry, you're next," and started digging into her and just pulling things out and going, and it's showing me over and over and over. And I try to look away. All right, I looked away. I screamed, "I'm coming. I'm down." FearLess family, understand me. I was gonna go for it, whatever that meant. I was in. I'm like, "You're dead. You're all dead. I've had it with you." And then I couldn't do anything. I could only watch.
That's the point.
And I watched and I watched, and then they had their way with. They put her back together, and then they had their way with her, like sexually. Then they brought you out.
Mm-hmm.
They dragged Paula in front of me, and they said, "Oh, look who we got." And then it started again. They were like, "We know who you are. We know all about all this. And we've been with you since the beginning." And I said, "You have not been with me since the beginning. You weren't even an itch in your daddy's etherical pants when I was around, son." Aaron will understand. Son, my son, the son, son. What we can do with the language, they can't understand. We can take one word and make it mean 1,000 things right to their faces. I let them know. "Oh, you don't know. You're going to know. You're going to know." And then it switched to me. They said, "You're next." And it was terrible. It was absolutely horrifyingly terrible. Frightening beyond the sense of all horror that you could imagine. And it makes me think, a lot of us that do this work, that are all love and light, I'm going to say this to you. It's not all love and light. And you're full of shit if you think it is. Okay? You have to purge this stuff because this is what goes on. Maybe you're a happy dandelion in the forest waving in the wind, but that's not how you get the job fully done. So you get the job kind of done collectively and get people on board. You throw the hippie out there. That's all good and dandy. How many of you are facing this kind of shit down?
But it's getting to your fear, the root of your fear. So it doesn't matter what they showed you, right? Whether it happened on another timeline or in another reality, in another dimension, or whether it didn't happen at all. And they were just showing you something that they knew you would fear. Because at that moment, you also said, "Take me."
I
Take
did.
me
That was the last
instead
thing.
of them. So
And they did.
You'll never know what you truly saw. It was the idea was that you needed to purge the fear that was attached to it.
Yes.
Because what you saw pretty much doesn't matter. And I'm not going to say it doesn't matter like it's not important. But you'll never get to the root of what you saw, whether or not that really happened or whether or not that was just something that they were showing you to fear you, to scare you, to get you into that fear spiral.
Right.
You know, the spiral that Ra talks about, that
Yes.
fear spiral. And it didn't work.
Oh,
And
for
that
sure it
was
didn't work.
that was your test. You got through it.
So
you either get through it or you don't. And you got through it. And then everything changed.
Yes.
Everything changes.
So now with that wonderful crazy, and I must have been talking out loud while I was under as well, and like, this can't be. My mind has been turned into something that you're not taking over, you're not controlling. As a matter of fact, I have more of a shot at controlling you, Mr. Gray, with your technology shit. I have more of a chance turning it on you now. That's what I've developed. Because that's what we are. There's no device. There's no nothing that could handle us once we realize it.
That's it. This is the tool for you to overcome your fear or whatever obstacle is in your way and get through to the other side. And then you're forever changed from that moment.
No matter what it takes, they will not have me. They will not have you. You could come in the night, you can try, you can take, you can get, but you will never have. That's the thing. You'll never have me ever again. Or whatever you think you thought you had is a paper tiger, for sure.
Because that's your declaration.
Not only is it my declaration, the good part happened now. I made it through that. Then I suddenly crawl into a ball as if I'm fetal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm inside of my mother's womb, healing myself, healing my mother. You know, it was a Russian doll effect.
Yes.
We're born through Aya, or Mother Earth, so we could come out onto the 3D playing field itself, or the density field that we're working with. So we come into the density, but then you have to be born through your mother, and your mother has to come through a mother, and mother, your mother.
Human birth.
Right. So
on
yes.
this planet, it has to be a human birth. That's how the soul.
Yeah.
That's how the soul comes in. Has to be a human birth.
If it doesn't come in that way, you'll find that with the DNA, there'll be accidents and mistakes and misgivings if you don't come in natural. Yeah. It's made to do that. Yeah, you can scientifically do stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's
all
one
that.
of the rules.
That's
That's
cool.
just the way it
It's
has
just,
to be. Mm-hmm.
We are the creator beings of the planet. Have faith in who you are and what you really are. You're not synthetic, and you're not coming in on the angle. You're being born in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not to say that it can't work the other ways. There's just always issues with that. Okay.
It's not even issues.
Whatever that would derive from.
That's the way it is for humans here. That's the way it is.
That's exactly the way it
the
is.
soul enters through human birth.
So I believe Aaron took the
tuning fork.
The tuning fork, which is at 532. He hit it on my spine, and an umbrella of the color blue came around me, and I saw blues I've never seen.
Yeah, that was
really
the most
smart. Beautiful,
mm-hmm.
beautiful colors and feeling. I felt safe, so safe. Oh God, the lowercase g is so safe. So safe, and the colors started talking
528
to me.
hertz. That's what it was.
I eventually was birthed out, and I was just laying on the floor, and now I was back on that doctor's table again, and I noticed that I had two shoulders on my left side. I had a shoulder here, and then there was another one, and my body was morphing. And I've seen this on people here. Like, I'd look at them, and their body extends and morphs into directions, and then I looked up, and I could see I was kind of not solid, but I had my physical form. And I said, I want the light being now.
Right.
And they said to me, nope, like, don't ask that way. It's coming no matter what. No matter what happens, if you never do another thing, you're still going to change into a light being. It's all groovy. But don't talk to us like that. And they changed it. And this other safer color, it was like reds, came in, and I apologized. I said, what are you doing? And they said, we need your attention over here to make you feel safe and warm, because you're literally changing out your DNA.
Right.
Your light being, the process is now fully kicked into overdrive, and you are about to hit your next checkpoint, and there's no going back now.
No.
The DNA is there. It's activated. You're ready to rock.
Forever changed from that point.
Forever changed from that point. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk about more of this experience next week.